Yo, what's going on, people? What's going on, people? It's SVD on the mic, Dojo Design Guy. Excuse me, on this hot Wednesday evening. Hope you guys are well. Yeah, shout outs to joining us. We've got Community Corner episode 33. I can't believe it. It's yeah, there's been many episodes, but you know, it's all good, man. But thank you guys for joining us in the chat. Today we have Punlife on. I'm looking forward to this. Obviously, people out there will know him as a Tekken commentator, but we're going to kind of deep dive and get into the nitty gritty in terms of how we got into commentary and all that good stuff. But before we continue, I've got a few cheap plugs as per usual. If you're a regular to Community Corner, you know how it goes. So let me just quickly get these up. First of all, we have the Versus Fighting YouTube playlist. I'm still in the process of uploading. There's plenty. Obviously, we had a lot of games, so there's all the uploads. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe. Obviously, all the usual socials, we're on Electronic Dojo and everything else, and Electronic Dojo UK on Instagram. Please follow us there as well. We also have the Versus Fighting album as well, again, done by myself. Day 1, day 2, day 3. There's about 2,000 photos. If you weren't at Versus Fighting, you can take a snapshot of the event here. I'm going to drop this link in the chat as well. And then I think that's it for the plugs. So for what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing shortly, and I'm going to bring our guest on to the stage. Welcome, Punlife.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you on Community Corner. Obviously, you do great work, and I appreciate your time first of all before we start. And yeah, how you doing today? First of all,
obviously outside of the typical warm. Yeah, it's a long day of work, but I've been looking forward to this. I have to make sure shower, get a nice shirt on, try to look the part. I've been genuinely really looking forward to it. I like yapping about commentary and all that jazz. So it's a pleasure to be here.
No, that's great. We appreciate you having you on. We appreciate it, man. Truly, truly. So, yeah, I guess enough yapping from me before we kind of get into it. I guess, just kind of introduce yourself in terms of who you are, like, you know, your kind of background, history. You don't have to go into too much detail if you don't want to, but just kind of general, and then we kind of kick it off from there, really.
Yeah, so for those that don't know me, my name is Łukasz. I'm originally Polish. I've lived in UK for about 18 years. I'm a former computer science student. I'm a software developer by trade, so all kinds of things related to that are something you're gonna
Mm.
find when I'm not doing commentary. I'm probably either doing work or doing some kind of data work or software work for the FGC on the side as well. I live in Southampton. I used to live in London. I grew up in London mainly. Went to Guildford for a little bit for uni, and then ended up in Southampton after COVID. And this is where I've been in terms of scene. In terms of local scenes, obviously you used to see me at East London Fighters. Rest in peace.
Yeah, we're getting to that. We're getting to that.
We'll get to that one, yeah. Where I was the kind of second in command back in the day. Now you'll probably find me occasionally in Bristol. I still go Bristol quite a lot. It's been kind of harder to get to now, but mostly the Southampton monthlies and occasionally in Portsmouth as well. So, you know, I might be further than I used to be, but I'm still trying to support local scenes wherever I can.
No, that's great. That's great. So I guess my first official question would be like, what was your kind of first experience of fighting games in general? Like, how did you kind of start getting into it initially?
So I think I got the almost cliche classic one of like, when I was a kid, me and my dad used to play Tekken 2. So I think that was probably like Tekken 2, Tekken 3 on
Okay.
PS1.
Yeah.
Pirated as well. They were not legal copies, man. Definitely not legal copies. Post-communist Poland, early on in those times, you're not getting legal copies of console games. Nah, way. Especially not in like eastern side of the country, which is just like pure poverty at the time. So Tekken 2, and then after that, I kind of didn't play for like I kind of started growing up and then moved countries when I was 10. Eventually ended up getting a PS2 quite late because I think by that point PS3 was already out. And I played a lot of T4, T5, kind of by myself and with my younger brother for the most part. And then I didn't have a PS3, which meant I didn't play a lick of T6 or Tag 2 on my own.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I missed out on the era, which kind of sucks because I really wish I didn't, because I think it would have definitely helped being around in those days.
That's really interesting. Like, based on who you are and what you do, that's very interesting to hear that you didn't really have the grounding within those kind of Tekkens. But wow, okay.
It was a weird one. So I had a friend that had a PS3. And I specifically bought him Tekken 6 for his birthday so I could go to his house and try to get him to play with me. That worked like twice, and then it just never worked. He just wasn't into Tekken, which sucks. It sucks for me anyway, you know. Then after that, I didn't play for ages because obviously what actually happened to me is I moved to PC, and back in the day, like if we go back to like 2014, you could not get any fighting games on PC. Maybe you could get Street Fighter 4. Mortal Kombat, and that was like it. Then Blaze Blue came out, Calamity Trigger came out, so I tried Calamity Trigger, and I was like, oh, this game is cool. I like it.
Very cool game.
And I kind of went through every single Blaze Blue after that. Not at like a massive competitor level, because again, I wasn't around for offlines at this point. I was just kind of casually enjoying it. But I played through all those. And then when Xrd Sign came out, I also played Xrd for a bit, which was really fun. And then eventually, I heard Tekken 7's coming out, and someone was like, "Oh, it's coming on PC. Oh, this is really cool." And by this point, like, you know, I'm in second year of uni, I think, by this point. So I would have not played Tekken for like a long time, probably like, I don't know, five years or so. But I was like, oh, Tekken 7's coming out, you know, I got a decent PC, I can just get it. And then it got delayed because it was meant to come out the early 2017. It was meant to come out in January. It actually came out in June. I was mid-exams. I know it came out on Friday, because I still remember, because I was waiting for the midnight release. Came out on Friday. By the time Monday rolled around, I had an exam on Monday.
Okay.
By the time the exam came out, I had like 25 hours in the game or something. I was just playing online. There's some like old clips of me being absolutely ass at the game and just popping up, getting it perfect online. And I was like, just screaming because I used to stream back in the day.
Oh, okay, nice.
So there's like old stream clips of that, which I look back on and it's like crazy the journey since.
Yeah, we'll be looking at those. We'll be looking at those after.
Oh god. Oh god.
I'm gonna try and grab some of those actually.
We're so bad, man. We're so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I picked it up and then I played for a little bit. I was playing ranked on the side, and because Tekken 7 ranked was an atrocious hellhole that would keep disconnecting randomly.
Yeah.
I was playing the Xiaoyu player called Vindaloo, and it disconnected, and I felt really bad because we were having like a nice set. You know, it's death matches back in the day, so we could go back and forth. And I want to apologize because the game disconnected, and he messaged me saying, "Oh, we should come offline. I saw that you live in London because my Steam location was set to like London, UK."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you should come down to Stratford area. We got a local. It'll be fun." And I didn't come down. I was like, oh, there's no way. I'm not good enough. I'm not going offline. It was like 2 or 3 weeks past. He messaged me again. It was like, so are you coming or not? And I was like, okay, I'll roll up. Because I lived in Leighton. So it's not like it was far from me anyway.
Yeah.
It was literally just, I catch a 158 to Stratford. It's fine. To be fair, it was specifically in Hackney Wick, which was actually a bit of a pain in the ass to get to from Leighton. But got there and yeah, joined this local called East London Fighters, and that kind of opened up a lot of things after that.
So I guess touching on, obviously you started with Tekken, which makes sense, but obviously you mentioned BlazBlue as well. Like, what was it about BlazBlue that you liked at the time, and were there any other fighting games that you played? And I guess for a follow-up question, obviously do you still play any other fighting games at the moment, or is it mainly Tekken focused now?
So I guess starting off with things that I liked about BlazBlue. I mean, you know, when BlazBlue was coming out, I was a teen that really enjoyed anime, right? So like, it was like a natural progression. Like, oh, they got these characters, and Climate Trigger was cool, but then Continuum Shift came out, and they had like the biggest edgelord character, Hazama, right? Like, what do you mean, bro swinging around around in chains and got snakes and stuff. And then Terumi came out as well. So I liked the anime aspect. I liked how over the top it was, and how like the pace of the game was insane. And I don't think I ever played on like a particularly competitive level. Funnily enough, the only BlazBlue, this is really embarrassing to say, the only BlazBlue like I competed in is Cross Tag, which is really funny. And that game, it was on release. It was Cross Tag on release, so it was the insane chip damage. It was the save DPs.
It's a pretty mad game. It
was like a 6-man round robin we run for Elf, I think. And Fury Fighter came down, and he was running Ruby Rachel, so the entire screen is just covered in red, and Ruby screaming. It was horrendous. He lost to one person that day, and it was me with I was playing Hazama and S, and Hazama and Cross Tag, unlike any other game, could just swing around. The game was bonkers, but I loved it. It was stupid, but I loved it. Fair. I guess that partially answers the other question. I did actually. So Tekken's obviously my main game, and I try to play as much as I can. But there are weeks where I just kind of, sometimes weeks, sometimes months where I'm like, okay, I can't really play much, so might play once a week, might play once every couple of weeks. But now right now I'm kind of off season. I don't have any commentary gigs scheduled for till next year, I think. Even. I was technically meant to do some other events, but I ran out of holiday leave. So there are 2 events this year I was meant to do on top. But I have 4 days of leave. And I don't know, like I might get ill, stuff might happen. So
you don't want to use it. That's fair. It's a shame.
So there's that. But I always try to buy a bunch of like fighting games. When fighting games come out, I usually try to buy it when I can. If I'm not going to play a lot, then I end up buying it on sale later on, just so I can try to support, that part of the industry that I really appreciate. I've been enjoying Avatar a lot. I think Avatar is really cool. I think the entire flow movement and stuff going on it feels super smooth. Like, it's one of those games where you can jump in and then you have an idea like, oh, does this work? And then you try in game and it works and it feels amazing. So there's that. And then I did at one point for like a couple of months, I was grinding a lot of Virtua Fighter 5 when it came out on PS4.
Okay, nice. Yes.
Mainly because I wanted to get top 10 Vanessa in EU. because I never played Virtua Fighter before. That was like my first proper like outing into Virtua Fighter.
Yeah.
I got like top 7, and I was like, I'm done now. This is all I wanted. But I do want to go back and learn that game because I did
Yeah.
get asked to commentate a few times, and it's a game I
Okay.
really appreciate. And I think was kind of like I like the 3D games a bit more than 2D games.
2D games,
I played a bit of Dead or Alive as well. Dead or Alive 5 again.
Mm.
Mila, my favorite character. I think they're really fun games, and I do enjoy playing them on the side. But it's you know how it is. As an adult,
Yeah.
just keeping up with one main
Yeah,
game
yeah,
is
it's
already
tough.
hard
It's
enough.
tough. Yeah, but play
Yeah,
multiple, like, yeah, it's really.
But
really
I try to dabble. If someone asks for games and like,
Mm.
you know, hop on Virtua Fighter, hop on Cross, like, I'll do it. Like, who am I to say no? You know.
Fair enough, fair enough. So yeah, like I guess obviously you kind of broke down in terms of how you kind of got into it, but then as you say, you mentioned obviously East London Fighters and that begins. So how does that journey start, and from how do you make the transition from playing to commentary at that point?
So I mean, yeah, it started because of ranked being bad, and then me being brought offline as a result of it. Which is, to be fair, as far as things goes, that's a good positive outcome of a ranked mode in the fighting game, I guess. Coming offline as a result. It's a weird one because commentary was entirely an accident. And also TOing was entirely an accident. I guess a happy accident in a way. So in the early days, Elf had a sponsorship from a company called Dragon Slay, who like did controllers and stuff, like on a cheaper side. Well, they're all right. Controllers and accessories and stuff like that. So there was a like an actual team we had, and we would occasionally get funds from Dragon Slay to be able to fly people out or like try to support them and such. So it was a local with a team, effectively.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make the team. So this was, I think the team got decided in like December 2017. And I was really determined. By this point, I had a few tournaments down. And it was going okay. We're like 6 months into Tekken 7. And like the locals popping, lots of people, lots of new people, obviously myself, but then, you know, Rukang's turning up and other players that would have already been established at the time. So I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to try to make the team. I did make a team. It was the admin team. I got drafted into the admin team, which, yeah, unfortunate. As a player, as someone with ambitions for playing, I got drafted into the admin team instead.
Okay.
And then about a month later in January, we had an event that the Bernie really used to like to run, which was this kind of like Royal Rumble King of the Hill style event. We have, you know, 30 players. They come on one by one, and then whoever stays on at the end wins. So we had that, and we used to have two commentators that used to commentate most of the events, which was Abominable and Eternal Dragon.
Yeah. Shout out Dragon as well. We've had him on the podcast as well, but yeah, shout out Dragon.
Yeah, great guy. I mean, both of them are, you know, big influences on my commentary, especially early on. So you know, I wouldn't be here without them. But they both of them lived out of London, so you know, trains stop running at a certain time, and these locals usually ended up going fairly late. So they had to go catch a train. So Vern was like, oh, you know, we need someone commentary, and I was like, yeah, well, whatever. I used to stream like 6 to 7 hours a day to like almost no one when I was at uni. To be fair, at this point I was still at uni, but I was on like my internship year in London, so I could have been around. And Gussain hopped on, and I hopped on. So my first commentary session was Gussain, which was, to be fair, really, really cool.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was good fun. Max Quicksilver won on Gigas, if I remember correctly. And afterwards, people were kind of saying like, "Oh, you know, it'd be cool to have you do commentary again. Like, you have a good voice for it, and you seem to have fun." And it was kind of like an unexpected, I guess, result out of that. So I was like, "Oh, you know, if people like the voice, like I'll try it more often." And from there, it kind of for local events, and we had an online series called TNT, which was like Thursday night Tekken or Thursday night tournament, whatever you wanted to call it.
Yeah.
And I would hop on that, and I used to anchor the series, so it was to be me and another commentator, and we usually after a while we put our calls, so we'd get all kinds of random people that have commentated before. We had like an esports caster from like other games that hopped on, and I would basically I was the reoccurring character, and everyone else would be hopping on, and we'd be switching between. pretty much anyone across the UK Tekken scene, whether like someone like Shan, obviously Kawis. We had Temp Ibis on at one point, which was an interesting experience as well. All kinds of people from other countries as well sometimes. So it was a pretty interesting one. And then obviously while this was going on, TOing was kind of going on the side, helping to organize, admin, run stuff, pack up, put up, all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, so I guess before we kind of get into the TO side, because for me personally, I didn't really know you were kind of TO side as well, so we kind of get to that. But I guess, how was the first experience of commentary when you actually jumped on? Was it a case of you was going to do it and you were nervous, or did you just jump on, and did it feel natural to you to the point where you felt like this is something that I could actually pursue and continue doing?
I think it felt fine. Like I didn't feel. I don't remember feeling pretty nervous. I thought it was just kind of treated like a nice experience. Like I hop on. It does definitely help that by this point I was used to talking to the camera. Like the streaming definitely helped.
Yeah.
But in my life I have a fairly long history of like public speaking and such.
Okay.
Even when I was young, I remember doing like, and I don't know if they do them in UK, but in Poland, I remember in school we had like these like almost like poetry competitions where you'd like pick a poem and like do a whole performance around it.
Yeah.
So I was doing it since I was super young. And then in UK, what would usually happen is when we had like presentations or group projects, people would just nominate me to do it. And I think after a while, you actually just get good at it, because if it keeps happening, then eventually I'm like, you know what, I don't mind doing it. I got experience in it. Even now at work, like, demos and things like that, like it's just public speaking at this point. Yeah. So I think that kind of like previous experience definitely helped. So it wasn't as daunting or scary to me. It just kind of felt natural. And it's just a conversation of another person at the same time, so it's like I'm already good at yapping, so it's kind of like combining two skills.
So how did it kind of progress then? So was it the case of once you had done it once or twice, you were being asked again, can you jump on comms again, and things were going from there? Or how did it kind of grow in that sense?
I mean, it's a bit of that, but it's also at the same time, everyone wants to play the game.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone wants to play. I mean, myself included, don't get me wrong. But it's hard to get people to jump on the mic. Unless they've already got knocked out of the bracket or their pool's not on yet, you're probably going to struggle to find people that want to commentate. And people get shy and stuff. So it was kind of a natural thing of like, Pun's either out or not playing yet, so let's get him on and commentate. And then it just kind of keeps going, and you're getting better. And then occasionally there were other events I'd go to that, to be fair, it was mostly Elf for like the first couple of years.
Yeah.
Because I think the first couple of years I didn't really have like aspirations to kind of like take it further. It was just like, it's a way of supporting my local. I can do some admin, I can do some commentary, and in between, if I get to play, then it's a nice result, and I'm happy with that. And then kind of by 2019, we started having bigger events. We had Elf Revolver, which was like 140 people or something. And there was Reflect Expo, which I actually got asked to do, which was nice because I worked with Ketchup at that time, which was really nice. It was like my first time working with someone that's at this point a renowned commentator. So that was a fantastic experience. And then it started becoming a bit more real. Like, I can potentially try to actually do more events. I can try to get more online things. I can try to go for bigger things. But it's it kind of took a while, and I think that kind of part is a whole another kind of worms of like how to continue at that point, because it was a lot of it's I think commentary progression is really difficult. Like you do some locals, how long do you have to do these locals? How big are the locals, etc. How do you progress from there? You do a major, you do a regional. Do you immediately go for like tier 1 after that point, or do you stay at tier 2? Or like a lot of these things don't have a pipeline for them, and it's really difficult to progress. So for a long time, I was kind of doing stuff at a regional level, local level. I think the first big gig was like Belong, when they had the gaming arenas. They did the Arena Clash all over the UK. The online series they did was technically the first paid gig I ever got. Reflect paid me in food, which is chill. I don't mind. I'll take this crown. I don't care.
Likewise.
And every other event, like for Elf, it was just work for free because it's community. Like I'm not gonna ask money for it. Like,
it's community stuff. So like
yeah,
understand.
And it's a way of giving back. So so Belong was like the first time I got paid. And the thing, I got my immediate like 300 quid or whatever was 400 quid for like 4 weeks, I think, of work. And I immediately bought a mic. Like I immediately bought a better mic. I actually still have it somewhere in the back. I bought a Rode NT1, and I was like, cool. So I try to invest back into this opportunity that I've gotten. It's like, cool. Now that this is a possibility, I should get better equipment and I should prepare myself and make sure I can try to work off of this momentum. And then the next part of the story. Let's keep the next part of the story for later because it gets there's a lot more emotional.
Okay, that's fine. So I guess as you say, obviously Belong was one of the first events. What I guess what other events have you kind of commentated at the moment in terms of, obviously for us, for me, you know, is it TWT, and I say we kind of get to that side and how those kind of things came about. But I guess once you're continuing your journey as commentating, obviously you've got to a point where, okay, now this is quote unquote serious. What kind of steps did you take in terms of your, I guess, your commentary style? As well, did you feel like you had to change certain things? Was there an active like reflection on, okay, well, I did this event and maybe I could have said this, so at the next event I'm going to improve? Or how did the process kind of change for you in terms of the growth and development of yourself as a commentator?
So it's I'm a very like self-critical person. So I think after every event, I would try to watch my VODs, or at least especially after the bigger ones, try to watch the VODs, see what I said, see how much I cringed to certain things and not at others. Obviously also get used to your own voice, because that's also a big aspect of if you have to review your own commentary, the sooner you get used to your voice, the better, because you're going to be hearing it a lot. So having not cringe at yourself, that's I think that's an important aspect of the process. But a lot of it was just kind of like looking at what other people are doing at first. So, you know, the people I started off with, Abominable, Eternal Dragon, but then also looking at people at the top at the time. So you know, Spag, Bubsy, Tasty Steve, MYK. MYK was a big inspiration for me. I think he's like the kind of person that I would kind of highlight as a big kind of cornerstone that I try to look at and be like,
okay,
I would like to progress on, because I think his level of technical knowledge and his analysis is always really on point. I think he's really got really good energy and just a really good vibe around him. So I think that was the kind of a person looked up to. But then the other thing was also, I have a little bit of esports background, not like a massive one, but I used to play a ton of League of Legends.
Okay.
Years, God, too many years. But I had friends that were esports casters for CS:GO and for other games. And then my partner at one point worked in esports herself. She was a talent manager. So I had a lot of exposure to esports commentary, and I used to watch a lot of it myself. So it was also not just looking at fighting game commentary, but esports commentary. What do they do? What do they do differently? Is there anything that I can borrow from them? And then later on was also about looking at, and I'm kind of trying to look at it more and more. What does sports commentary do that I don't? Because those guys are professional. They are well established. Sports commentary has been around for like 100 years or something. So what can I do to be more like them? I watch a lot of F1. So you know, Martin Brundle, the GOAT. What does he do? How does he approach the situation? Obviously, it's a kind of a different pace in terms of how many things are happening on screen compared to commentary on for like fighting games. But it's still interesting to see what can I pick and take, what can I be inspired by, how can I adapt things, because it's also, you know, everyone's got their own style, and everyone should have their own style. Like, you'll never be Sajam, you'll never be Tasty Steve or Yipes. Like, those guys are one of a kind, and you shouldn't try to be. You can take inspiration from them, but you ultimately need to build up yourself. So it took a bit of like reflection of, okay, what makes me me? The terrible jokes, the puns, data, and probably kind of like a fairly non-serious attitude is probably kind of like the building blocks of the style that I wanted to go for, that I try to establish. And once I knew that, I just, you know, try to go work towards it more and more. And on different commentary events, as once I kind of recognized what I wanted to go for, I would specifically try to do something towards them.
That's interesting.
Like, you know, when you go to the lab in a fighting game, like you pick something to lab. Like today, I'm going to practice Korean backdash. And so you practice Korean backdash. I was trying to do the same with commentary. today I would like to be more precise in my analysis segments, or today I would like to do a more of like a narrative statement on a player before they play the game. Obviously, it's kind of like tough to do sometimes if you're just doing online events, when it's usually a lot less. It's a lot more chill and less structured, so you end up doing a lot of other things. But you can try stuff like that. And there's a game I kind of invented with a friend that we were playing, where they would DM me a message with like a word, and it's like, you need to work this word into your commentary, but in a way that makes sense and like no one else can tell. And it's a really cool exercise because it's a great improvisation exercise. So like little things like that, just to practice specific segments and aspects of my commentary, I think made a lot of help.
That's really sick. We've got Jimmy Caldero in the comments. Mr. Punlife, people are saying TWT staff have better puns than you. Is this true?
I can neither confirm nor deny this. I believe under contract, I'm under a non-disclosure agreement, so I will not be commenting on these matters.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, that sounds really cool. Like in terms of like you always, like from the outside looking in, you always strike me as like a very analytical person, and I guess that kind of comes through in your commentary style, and just the fact that you've kind of said that, you know, you look back and you have these kind of elements of where I would try to improve on certain things at certain events is great. You kind of touched on the kind of technical aspects of commentary in your style, but I guess in terms of the knowledge of the game as well, do you feel like it's how do you find keeping up with certain things? Because obviously nowadays games get patches here and there, like put on a regular basis. Are these kind of things something that affects your commentary, or how is it like, oh, there's another patch now, it's time to have to research? How do you kind of go about the kind of shifting gears within these games like nowadays? Well, I guess Tekken, I guess.
It's hard, man. Like it's I always try to. I hate going on a commentary unprepared. Like it's the kind of like, you know, fail to prepare, prepared to fail type mindset. I hate doing it. It's why I refuse to do commentary for any other game that I do not play. Like I go asked to do Virtua Fighter, I go asked to do other games, unless I have serious lab time and time to really understand the game and the concepts and the community. I will never do it, because to me it feels disrespectful. Like it's to me, this is a big privilege to have the ability to do this. So I always want to give it my all and make sure that I respect the position I'm in, and I'm prepared and ready. So even earlier this year, I was in America for like a friend's wedding for like 10 days or something. But I was coming back, and I would be back for like 2 days, and then I had to fly up to mix up to do mix up. And I think Cooney just came out. So I had legitimately 2 days to lab Cooney, and that's after I go back from another country. I had to do all my washing. I was working as well, so I came back and I had to do my like regular day job for the 2 days. I genuinely, this is a real thing I did. AC, the Leo player from Slough, I asked him, "Oh, could you teach me some Cooney? Because I need to know the character." And I asked a few other people I knew. I was like, "Can you give me like a lowdown of some notes of like how you think Cooney functions and what to look at, what moves to look out?" And I would supplement that with my lab time. And I was obviously also trying to pay attention to like people on Twitter and content and what I could kind of gather between the lines about lab time myself. But I was like, cool, AC, I need Cooney stuff. And he's like, "Oh, I don't have the season pass." I bought him the damn season pass. So like, you're playing the game with me because I need the knowledge. I need to understand how his character functions. So I bought him the season pass and forced him to play Tekken with me again, just so I could get a better feel of what the character is doing. So
it's dedication right there. Dedication.
I mean, you have to, right? Like if these men are going to fly me out to France to do commentary, like I gotta make sure I'm on top of my game, because again, this is a massive like privilege and kind of a point of respect within the community. I
investment in your craft as well. Like, makes sense.
So I try to keep up to date. I always try to, when a big patch comes out, I try to make notes on the big things, what changed, and I'll try to highlight on my commentary as well. Like, oh, these are the changes that happened. This is what changed. This is how it used to be, etc. I think it's like a very crucial point, and it's almost like the least kind of like it's the least you could do to keep up with the game. Obviously, like it kind of depends on the level, because it's fine to not always keep up. Like it's fine to make mistakes and occasionally forget, but I think I'm now lucky enough to be at a level where I don't think it's particularly acceptable for the most part. So I always try to keep up to date and make sure, you know, I got the notes, and not just on the game itself, because obviously that's the key component of it, but also I try to pay
Players.
attention to players, what tournaments went on, who won in the Korean leagues in STL recently, what challenger events we had, what master events we had. Even if I'm not watching the entire tournament, at least I'll try to look into top play. I'll try to at least skim through, see what happened. Are there any upsets? Are there any like standout performances that I can talk about? And I'm now I'm trying to do this more and more, of like paying more attention to specifically styles of players and how they're playing the game. What are like the kind of standout things to look out when that player's on screen, and perhaps how that changes when they face other players in certain matchups, because sometimes styles win fights, and Ken and Trent always used to tell me, styles win fights. It's so important that you have a style that also beats another person, because you could be better than them, but if they play in a way that you cannot stop, then that you're still losing at the end of the day. So being able to adjust for styles of thought is really important to keep up on as well.
That's crazy. It sounds like a full-time job in itself, just trying to keep up with not only the game but the players and stuff.
It feels like it sometimes.
There's so much work that actually goes into it. It's crazy. But it just shows obviously your dedication to your craft, and obviously, as you mentioned earlier, it's a privileged position that you find yourself in. So you're going to put your best foot forward and do that. But I guess how do you do you have any tips for, if there's any commentators out there watching right now, do you have any tips in regards to how to kind of, I guess, we go for standard, your 5 top tips, but in terms of retaining this kind of information, how do you kind of retain all of this? Do you have books of notepads and things like that, or how is it retained?
Well, I have good memory. To be fair, that actually helps a lot. I have memory for things that I probably should not remember, because it's mostly useless information. There are things about obscure tech things that no one's ever used in Tekken 7 that I remember because I found it. But a lot of it's notes. While I have good memory, I'm also slowly getting older, which is having an effect, and sleeping less and less, which is also having an effect on the memory. So just notes. Every event I go to, I try to make notes. When I pick up a new character, whether it's in Tekken or somewhere else, I'll make notes. How do I want to play this character? What are my core fundamental tools? What do I want to approach with? Basic combos, whatever else. I think for a lot of people, writing things down helps a lot. So for me, typing it out, reading through it, and then trying things, it's associating from multiple things, because I lab the game. A lot of the time, labbing will help internalize the kind of things into my memory and try to remember it. It's also exactly what you remember. I might forget the exact frames of this is +6, and it's oh, I know it's pretty minus, and that your turn is probably over. I might sometimes forget what plus exactly is it. So it's pick and mix of things I know are super crucial to remember, and things that maybe are a little bit less so, and I just kind of keep trying to drill it and doing that. But in terms of I guess other things to suggest, find a way that helps you memorize things. I think that's the big thing. It's same as doing revision for exams. Everyone has their way to do it. If you want to do flashcards, absolutely. I do notes on. I use a program called Obsidian, which is just a fancy notepad that syncs across devices. So I do my notes on my PC when I work at it, and then it synchronizes to the tablet that I use on broadcast, and my phone if I need that. And it works from any device to any device. So any updates I made here, go there, etc. So that helps a lot, and that just keeps my notes in one place. And if I need anything, I can look up my notes from last year versus fighting last year. What did I write on the players? What events I noted down, etc. So it's a nice kind of archive. Or if I need to go back and look at things, I can do that. I guess the memory stuff is kind of it's always going to be dependent on person.
No, that's nice.
But there might be in terms of I guess other tips outside of just memorizing and notes. Obviously, preparation is key, as I said earlier. I think people forget that commentary as a job begins off mic. So obviously, preparing things is part of that, making sure that you got all the notes and the research, but also being recognized on the mic is kind of a multitude of factors. One is being good on the mic. 2 is being noticed. It's hard people actually picking up on on your presence or on the fact that you exist, because there's a lot of commentators. There's a lot of high level commentators. There's a lot of tournaments going on at any point, so you got to make sure you're noticed. And that's usually, you do that through either networking. So you go out, meet people, talk to production, say your thank yous, especially. Be remembered as a person that's good to work with, and chill, I guess, for the lack of a better word. And socials to help advertise yourself. It's the part of the job I hate. Don't get me wrong. I hate doing socials. I'm largely a private person that hates Twitter, and I only use it because of the fact of its its utility.
Yeah.
But it's important, whether it's Twitter or it's Instagram or YouTube. Like, it's nice having a niche on the side that's not commentary. For a lot of people, it's content, whether it's game content or something more specific. For me, it was data and statistics, so that was like a niche that people also found me through. And, it helps because both those two things interact. So me doing statistics and notes on the players helps inform my commentary, and vice versa. So it's a nice thing to have, but I think it's a key aspect of that, and kind of leading from that point I mentioned about networking. This is maybe not exact. It's not meant to be mean sounding, but I think a lot of commentators. It's really easy to get an ego because you're the personality on screen.
Yeah.
But people forget, if you had like a food chain of production, like esports production or stream production, whatever. Commentator is the least important part of the food chain. You're the bottom. You're genuinely just a bug, because you could remove the commentator and the stream runs, because production runs it. The players are on stream.
Players are there.
Yeah. So as a commentator, you sit down politely, you listen to production, you say your thank yous, and if they tell you to jump, you ask how high. If they tell you to get lost, you get lost. And same with the players. The players are the stars of the show, and there's a level of respect that you need to give. I think there's a very fine line between noticing a mistake and kind of elaborating on the mistake, what happened, what could have been done instead, and then being like, oh, I would have just done this, because you're on commentary for a reason, and that reason is probably because you're asked. Like, if you can't play commentate is the classic joke. And if you can't commentate TO, which is funny because I did both
now. Oh no, I get it. No, it's interesting to hear your perspective on that side of things in terms of, as you say, I guess, like managing egos, because obviously sometimes as you say, you are the spotlight as a commentator. So I guess sometimes it may be hard to stay grounded because you feel booked here and booked here, and it's like you are known as like the face of said game. How do you kind of approach that going forward? So it's interesting to kind of hear your idea on that. But in terms of commentators, obviously you've worked with like quite a lot of commentators over your time. I guess we could kind of still do tips like how have you found that, and I guess how do you kind of find the balance between, obviously there's so many different styles of commentators. Some would be a bit more hype, so to speak. Some would be, I say, analytical, and on your level, like how do you kind of find the balance? And I guess how do you kind of approach? Is there like a conversation to be had, like once you find out, okay, I'm commentating with X person? Is there a conversation that's had beforehand? Is it more on the day? And you kind of just get like a vibe. How does that kind of dynamic work with working with different commentators in different styles?
So it's a good question. I think I have a fairly unique perspective on it because I mentioned before I was the anchor for TNT for 2 years. So it was nice. I commentated like 60 or 70 people, I think, on that. Which was insane. Maybe like at least 50, maybe 60, 70 is embellishing it, but like at least 50. Like it ran for like 2 years. It was a lot.
It's fine. You can embellish. It's
yeah. But it's difficult. So the system I developed for it at the time, because obviously these were tournaments running on Thursday after work, and people get tired and all that kind of jazz. I would try to get people in 30 minutes before the broadcast starts. And I would just chat, like, who are you? What's your name? What game do you play? What character do you play? Like, try to work out, like, okay, what are they making jokes? What kind of energy do they have? Are they quite quiet? Are they quite reserved? Are they very passionate? Is this their first time? Like, trying to gather as much. It's I hate the fact that I'm using another fighting game analogy. It's like when you play the first round or the first 2 rounds of the game, and
Yeah.
you're just scouting for information. Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
can I use here? What kind of things are available to me? What can I adapt to and work with?
Yeah.
And then I try to work with it. Usually, the start of the broadcast is the roughest because you're still feeling each other
Yeah.
out.
So yeah.
Either giving me spaces to speak,
Mm.
because there are people that don't. I have horror stories, man. I have trauma. I have trauma from like 3 hours of working with someone that does not let me speak or speaks over me. It
Okay.
sucks.
This is a free platform. Feel free if you feel the need to. It's up to you. Like if not, it's cool. Like
I'm not calling people out. I swear.
that's what
I'm past the drama life. Listen, if we went back to 2019 and me on Twitter just beefing people, listen, there's a reason why the title Littlefinger of the UK FDC got assigned to me at one point. That was some wild beef back in the day. Anyway, those days aside,
you know, we move forward.
I'm a mellow old man now. It's fine.
Fair,
but it's kind of like taking time to understand someone, because it's a conversation, and knowing what makes someone tick is a nice way to kind of help guide your commentary with them. And sometimes I'll just straight up ask. It's usually when I know I work with someone established and it's in like a bigger event, like, oh, like what kind of like style do you like to lean into? Like, is there anything specific you want to do? Is there any kind of call outs you want to do? Like what do you want me to do? Because I'm happy playing the support role, because I felt like at this point I've done enough events that I'm comfortable, whether I'm doing play-by-play, whether I'm doing more kind of like color and analysis, or kind of anything in between, or any specific elements. I'm happy switching with people, because it feels like it makes, like, I think people kind of forget that on a broadcast, when you're with another commentator, you're a unit. It's the kind of, your singular parts are cool and all, but you are ultimately a unit, and the better you make someone else look, the better you look at the same time. It's about just constantly getting them the passes and making sure they can flourish, and then hopefully they return the favor, and it all looks like a nice streamlined operation. So that's why I kind of always try to seek out, okay, what do you want to do? I'll work alongside it. And sometimes it's super easy, because they'll be like, oh, I want to do this. I want to focus on my play-by-play. I want to do my analysis. And sometimes it's like, I don't care. Like, you do what you want. Like, I asked Majin Obama about this, and he was like, oh, yeah, dude, just do you. I'll fit around you. And I was like, cool. We're both just doing our own thing, and it seems to gel pretty well. And, we're having fun, and he's cracking jokes, and he's got so much charisma that, I'm just trying to make sure I keep up with his level of knowledge and his energy. And I think that's the other part of the thing, is scouting out how much energy they have and what are they outputting. Like you have Tasty Steve on the mic, he's going to get hyper. So you try to, at least, you don't have to be at his level exactly, but be around it. Like, you be in the kind of the neighborhood energy level, But if you work with someone that's quite quiet and quite reserved, if you're going to start shouting the game, that makes them look bad, because they're kind of not reacting as much. So you kind of dial down, and you have more of a radio session, or like a bit more of a controlled environment. So it's I think it's just a matter of adjusting and recognizing the matchup, knowing the matchup, preparing for it, and having an idea about it.
I like it. Recognizing the matchup.
Listen, all of this boils down, even on commentary, it's just fighting games. It's everything applies again.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like that approach is sounds like it's like a balance, and I'd say it's a give and take. It's not like, okay, I'm here, I'm star of the show type thing, because those kind of things don't work. So that makes perfect sense. So I guess obviously there's an element that you mentioned earlier that you're kind of going to get into in terms of like certain things, TWTs and stuff. How, I guess, obviously you've progressed to the point where you're doing locals and you're doing like regional events and things like that. How does the TWT stamp, if you will, how does that come about, and what was the event that I guess made that happen?
So I was doing locals. The thing is, in my kind of journey, I had the unfortunate thing. I had an unfortunate thing. COVID happened. So locals disappeared from the face of the earth. The only thing we had was online. Now, that's both really good and really bad, because it meant we had a lot of online tournaments. In the era of games not having any rollback, which was swings and roundabouts, really. But it meant a lot of established commentators wouldn't work from home. They wouldn't have the setups. So a lot of people that were doing TWT at the time, some of them gone to ICFC, but maybe some of them didn't have setups. I know on the American side, pretty much all of these guys, they're already streaming and stuff. So all of them were like pretty much prepared to do this stuff. So ICFC NA especially was like they had, everyone was super prepared for it and did a great job of it. In EU, I know is a bit different. ICFCE was kind of, at first there was a lot of more people switching around, and I didn't get on initially. So there was I think the first couple of seasons of ICFC I didn't get on, or maybe even more than the first couple. I ended up getting picked up, it was like 2021 or something, for ICFC, and that was a massive honor. And I think that kind of opened up doors, because ICFC almost felt like it was everyone, because we didn't have any locals. It was kind of where everyone's eyes went. What's this, tournament every week that's getting like 200 plus people. Everyone's watching it. And, it was a specific format of 4 people. So it was it's tough to work on online with latency and everything else involved in it. But it opens up a lot of doors. So I got to work that for a while. And in EU, it was run by the Dragons. So it was also getting familiar with the Dragons, getting to work with them, and they put in a good word and managed to get me on a master event, which was Versus Fighting 2022.
That wasn't planned. That wasn't
planned. Yeah. Coincidentally, Versus Fighting 2022 was my first master event. Versus Fighting 2018 was my first major.
Okay.
So at this point, like that, to me, that means a lot, because it was weird. I missed 2019. So I wanted to go to 2019. I was graduating. A part of me, I got absolutely wasted at my graduation, and I still wanted to go to Brum the next day to make Versus Fighting, right? So it was like, it almost happened. It was close. It was close. It almost happened, but it was just too far gone. Especially Guildford to Brum is like, it's a trek. But 2022 comes around. I did Versus Fighting. I also got kind of lucky because, lucky for me and lucky for Bubsy, because I think Bubsy broke his hand or something. He had a hand injury, so he couldn't make it. I think Kwas got busy or had like his birthday. It was his birthday or something. Or someone's birthday. He couldn't make it. So I got quite lucky, and I got the opportunity to do that. And I think it was me, Spag, Sam. Oh, I'm gonna feel really bad. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. But it was a really good experience. It was like my first master. I was quite nervous. I looked back on it, but it wasn't bad. I think at that point it was decent. But since then, the progression has been kind of crazy. But that was 2022. Now, when you land an event like that, you're like, I made it. The foot's in the door. So surely, like, this is just the beginning of the rise. We're in the Punlife era. So 2023 rolls up, and I have the hardest realization of, I think, my career at the time, which is no events, not invited to anything. Because for master events, they reach out to you. It's you will know if you're selected. You'll know they'll message you. For challengers and kind of small events, you can usually, there's either an application or sometimes they also reach out sometimes, but it's a bit more viable to get in, even if it's just for post commentary or whatever. So 2023 was it was a big reality check, check yourself, you're not the big dog running the scene that you might think you are. Back down to the levels where this is where the level is. You gotta stay patient, and it was a tough one. I think that kind of the crash was important, because again, it kept my ego in check. It made sure that not getting too big for your boots, keep working, keep improving,
and it will happen.
Hopefully eventually, with some luck maybe. So 2023 write-off, and that was the last one of Tekken 7 as well. So it was a shame, but I did other events around UK, and 2023 was a big one as well for me, because it's when Elf shut down. It was the final year.
R.I.P. Elf. R.I.P. Elf.
Yeah, forever in my heart. I still wear the tag when I play in tournaments, so that's never going away. So we had the final event, Elf Final Fight, in May. I think I changed jobs as well at the same time, 4 years at a job. Then I didn't get Versus Fighting, and I just kind of I did my own thing at that point. I was already doing data and stuff, so I kind of focused on the data aspect of whether I was doing TWT stats or Tenno Media, where we were doing their ICSC championship. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do some data for that. Let me just get in touch with them. They already know me from commentary. I'll just ask, do you want this data? I'm going to publish it anyway. If you guys want to put it on broadcast, I'm not going to charge for it because I'm doing it regardless. So, so let's do that. And I think that might have partially helped because it's, again, I talked about having a niche earlier. That was my niche. I'm a commentator, but I'm also a statistician. So I can kind of flex these two things, and it makes me a more of a, I guess it's a unique selling point for me as kind of talent. And then 2024 happens, and 2024 was a big. So Tekken 8 comes out, so obviously that's a big thing because everyone's gunning for it. Everyone wants to be a part of the game.
Yeah, it's new game. It's new opportunities for people. Everyone wants to get their foot in, and
And I was grinding the game out hard, especially the first year. I was playing a ton, going to locals constantly whenever I could. And then Damascus happened. So Damascus was running his Wanted series, and also Set and Reset was starting. And I ended up doing a lot of the Set and Resets and Wanted, and just kind of trying to do as many events as I could. So sometimes I was doing a couple of online events a week. It was a lot. Like I have a list of events somewhere. I was basically doing an event a week that year almost. For a certain point, it wasn't the entire year because I would have probably just perished, but it was a lot. I was really grinding hard, and so he also suggested that I apply for Brussels Challenge, and that because I didn't have money to fly at the time, so he suggested I do that, and they'll pay for my flight at least, and so I did that, and then I applied for UFA, and they paid for the hotel and accommodation. So that UFA that year as well, and I got contacted for Versus Fighting. So Versus Fighting 2024 was back again, my master event of the year, and that was a really good experience, a really amazing experience, and it was me, Rukang, and Samdeding. I didn't get top 8 on it, but I was like, it was nice to be back on, and at that point I felt more confident. Better outfits. I mean, to be fair, my outfits in 2022 was right, but I think since then, I've been trying to style a bit on commentary.
Yeah, you've leveled up. You've leveled up there.
Yeah. So it was nice to be back on, and it kind of I did a lot more events in 24, both for local and regional, and then the 2 challengers and a master. And I was like, okay, this feels more like it. I've leveled up. I feel a lot more confident, and I'm doing things that aren't just masters, and kind of getting myself to places, making sure that people do not forget that I exist, and kind of working that niche. And then last year happens, and that was kind of insane because so I did. God, what did I do? I did UFA again, and so I got to do UFA top 8 in 2024 because Spag got ill and couldn't make it. So I ended up getting put on top 8 it was me and Chicken Chakra, which was really good. And we were really shy and kind of scared because we were like, I remember facing the crowd, a bunch of people in the crowd because of how we positioned the caster list. And I was like, I didn't expect to see all these people. Like this is suddenly way scarier. And it's like they have a really good production value, and that band is like incredibly well run as well. So huge respect to Gozolting and everyone else making that possible. But it was super scary. But then 2025 after that, we did UFA again, and this time we got top 8. We were picked, and the level of confidence and the kind of experience for both me and Chicken Chakra since then has kind of
as well.
Love the guy, Dean, amazing guy, Jenny, one of my favorite co-commentators. But we came a long way, and at that point we've done a lot, and we did both of us did Head Stomper. We didn't actually work together on Head Stomper, but we did Head Stomper. We did UFA. I did Versus Fighting last year, so that year.
Top 8.
It wasn't a master, but I got to do that top 8, which chef's kiss. I genuinely one of the highlights of my career. That was the one thing. Like I have like a list of achievements that I wanted to, kind of like a bucket list of things I wanted to do the EFGC. Versus Fighting top 8 was like it's there. It's one of the things. It's like a major, the first major I had as a player, and then the first major I had as a master level commentator, and then I wanted to make sure that eventually I get title pay. That was like definitely a point I wanted to check, and now I did it twice. So it's
exactly.
great.
I was gonna say you did it this year as well. Yeah, of course.
Gotta go for the 3P next year. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers
But it was that, and then there was other events. I got to do Greece last year as well, which was a really good experience, and I got to do mix up as well. So it was weird because people from my locals were like, "Oh yeah, we tune into a Tekken stream, and you're suddenly in another country every week," and it's like, what's going on here? So is that only the best as well last year? So it was a lot. I got to do a lot of events that I would have never expected to have done, and it was a really good experience. And I think that year was kind of the proper breakout where, I'm doing all these things and flying myself to places and applying and maybe almost doing too much commentary because the flying is a lot more taxing than I realized until last year. So yeah, it's it was a culmination of the journey, and then I would have thought that would have been like the peak. And then it was kind of a funny story. So I had the hope of trying to get TWT finals. Because I was like, I've done a lot of events this year. So I've done the 2 masters, I've done like 4 challengers or something. I should be on the map. Maybe if I'm really lucky, maybe it'll be possible to get TWT finals. And I went up to Flo Sama and I was like, do you know when will we know? Is there any possibility? And he's like, oh, you should have gotten an email. I'm like, what do you mean I should have gotten an email? Like I'm mid this event in Greece, like just kind of asking because I was curious.
Of course.
Like, just really hopeful, like filled with hope. I'm usually not that filled with hope. Like usually I'm like expecting the worst. But just bright-eyed, curious. He tells me that I'm about to cry in the middle of this event. Like, what do you mean? So that was the ever bucket list item: getting BSF top 8, then getting the TWT finals, and then also getting the European finals. And that's like the 3 major milestones of like I was like, I didn't know this was going to happen this year or next year or the year after that. This could have been like the final year of my career, and I would have stepped off the mic happy. So it was kind of the journey took a while to get there, but I think it was good that it took a while because it kind of gave me a lot of time to learn and adapt and really appreciate when I go there.
And the growth, as I say, that's amazing. That's amazing to hear, man. So I guess what's next for you in terms of, I guess, first of all, upcoming events? Are there any upcoming events lined up that you're at or future wise or?
So as a player, I mean, to be fair, I might also help on the mic, and I did also say I would help admin if necessary. Sodium Showdown, so Bristol's premier event. It's on a boat. I'm really excited. I used to go. So I went Sodium a fair few times in the past. I missed it last year because of my partner's health problems, and then the year before that because I was commentating UFA. But I'm glad to finally go back to Bristol and experience the boat.
Shout out to the Sodium Showdown guys, Superman, Battle Farms. Shout out to those guys, man.
I love that scene, so I'm excited to go back there and enjoy and see everyone. After that, probably kind of like Southampton locals, Montfleets. I wanna go to all the locals I can on the South Coast. So mainly because I want to try to win them all. Because I won Southampton a few times now. I want to go win Portsmouth. Go win Guildford. Brighton's a little tough to get to, but maybe at some point go Brighton and try to win that as well. I want to now that I'm kind of in a big event lull for the rest of the year because again out of holiday days. I mean, I did apply for Evo France. If I get Evo France, I'm gonna take unpaid leave. I don't care, man. That's again bucket list item. I need to do that once.
Fair enough.
After that, I don't care. Just one time. But for the most part, it would just be kind of things around UK. And September, October is looking crazy for games, so I'm waiting for the Ace Combat Collector's Edition to get in here so I can play that. So I'll have my hands full on that as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So outside of obviously you fighting games and FGC stuff, what else do you play? You kind of touched on like League of Legends and things briefly. What else do you play like nowadays? Like,
so honestly, kind of a bit of everything nowadays. I have a quite expansive, I guess, taste of NVIDIA games, so I try everything. Not as much multiplayer stuff as I used to, unless it's stuff with friends, like the classic friend slop nights or whatever. But most of the time, I go between a lot of stuff.
Mm.
Ace Combat is what I'm really excited for coming out. Phantom Blade Zero finally got a day, so I'm really excited to try that.
Yeah, I saw the trailer today. It looked kind of crazy. There's a
Oh, bro,
state.
I've been waiting for them to give me more information.
Yeah,
Finally,
yeah. There's a state of
yeah,
play on the 17th, I think it is now. I saw that
yeah.
today. Yeah, that
I need
game
to get into
looks
that
pretty mad.
because I'm big like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta and kind of hack and slash those kind of games. So, like I guess character action is what we
Yeah,
also call them. Stuff like that. I'd really want to play more of. But also just a bunch of indie games. Like I just pick up random stuff. Like there was an indie game that came out the other day called Sovereign Tower, which is like this text like kind of visual novel-esque adventure about
mm.
management and reigning a kingdom, and that's actually ended up having a really good story.
Oh, nice, nice,
Um,
nice.
so stuff like that. I got. I mean, people that have me added on Steam can vouch for the fact that my library is reaching inhuman levels. I got 200, like 2,000 games or something. So like,
That's crazy.
I got backlog that's gonna last me till the end of my life at this point. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I go for a lot of stuff. I could be playing Ice Combat one day, and then the next day I need to chill after work, and I'm playing Power Wash Sim 2 just to wash someone's car. Like, I like variety. So
Fair, fair, fair. Shout out to Jonesy. Shout out to Jonesy in the chat. We have a great question. Great question. I was actually going to touch on this. To be fair, has anyone asked where Punlife gets his dripped out shirts? And what is there a story behind these shirts? First of all, like
I wish I had a story behind each shirt. That would have actually been really good. Not much story. Honestly, it kind of depends. So a few places. Usually when Uniqlo does stuff, I try to get stuff of Uniqlo, but also a lot of my the kind of non-fancy shirt stuff comes from Uniqlo. I always try to craft like almost like a nicer silhouette, so like wider pants, or making sure like the belt is breaking an outfit. Like I try to look good, like
yeah.
I'm on camera for so like I need to look good. Like I don't want
Yeah.
people in chat to be calling me butters or something. I don't care. Like I need to like keep up appearances. But
Makes
stuff like
sense.
ASOS, I'll like check every once in a while because usually they have a pretty wide variety of printed shirts. Like even stuff like H&M occasionally. Like I'll be out and about if I see a shirt. Oh, recently actually, there's a bunch of shirts. I went to Marks and Spencer's to pick up like the Marks and Spencer's cookies.
Yeah.
And I was going through like the clothing section. I was like, wait, like they actually got some decent summer shirts. So like I picked up a few and it's like, oh, these would look good. It's like nice bright colors because it's usually. I know most Tekken commentators will usually wear fairly plain colors on commentary because partially it's mandated that we can't really wear logos or
like
any
branding, logos and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brand safety and all that kind of jazz. But I usually try to, because I know they're going to do that and they're going to be wearing darker colors or something fairly flat. I can try to go for like a brighter pattern or something else of that nature. So yeah, I kind of just look around M&S, H&M, Uniqlo, and just random places. Occasionally I walk in, it's like, you never know what you're going to find if you just go to the section to like the men's section or like printed shirt section. Just experiment.
It's all part of the branding as well, as you are. And obviously this was the fit for Top 8 at Versus Fighting.
But it was exactly the same idea, right? Like I know Bubsy always wears black shirts. I was like, I know he's gonna do it. And I know Rukang also usually wears fairly plain stuff, so I can get away. And I did also, in fairness, what I usually do is I have the outfits decided ahead of time for each day. But if I will ask them on the first day, for example, like, oh, do you know what you're wearing for the finals? And I can switch my outfits around, and I usually have like a spare to kind of like mix and match things. So I might have like a slightly more plain outfit. But yeah, it's I try to keep a variety. So like I had that lemon shirt. I had like a blue shirt on the first day, and I had like a red shirt, kind of like reddish pattern shirt on the second day. So I had different colors that I could potentially switch to, that they all like look decent. But I could adjust to like someone else and at least find something that corresponds to their outfit as well.
No, that's fair. That's sick. That's sick. I remember when I had an episode with Eternal Dragon, and he's a fashion guy as well. He's very dripped out as well. So I remember he was dropping knowledge as well, and that. So I may have to go back and look at what he said and take what you said on board because my outfit, my catalog is not. It's just hoodies and stuff and basics, but I'm not really.
So mine for years in fairness. I love hoodies, man. Hoodies and sweats, like I'm very like that's all I'm gonna wear around the house most of the time. But like occasionally, I realize it's actually a lot easier to kind of like dress effortlessly, and like I'll have like shirts and stuff, and
of course.
throw some linen pants and like a belt, and that's usually an outfit done already. Like the
Yeah.
brown belt, brown shoes, nice shirt, linen pants, you're set. Like it's easy, especially in summer. But even stuff like I really like kind of like streetwear styles as well. So I usually won't wear them on the mic because most of my streetwear clothes are there's either brands on them or they're just super loud. There's the people that used to come locals in London, the famous Punlife yellow hoodie, which is just the brightest yellow hoodie you've ever seen, and then a pair of like baggy cargos. Like, man, I love that kind of style. And I'll still wear it when I'm out and about. Just on the mic, I usually try to switch it up a little bit.
Of course,
a little bit.
Of course.
To be fair, if the vibe was streetwear, if everyone on the broadcast was rocking up in streetwear, then I would also do the same because then we're kind of like. It's about keeping this kind of consistency and that kind of same theming. But most of the time, I can get away with something a little bit more fancy.
No, I appreciate it. That's sick. So I guess before we kind of like wrap up again, appreciate your time, and it's been like amazing to kind of hear your story in terms of just the process that you take, and I guess the level of detail and I guess pride in what you do clearly shows and stuff. But I guess just personal, like top 3 favorite events that you've been to, whether you be at commentary, whether you be like a specific moment or like a specific match. Are there any that come to mind at the moment in terms of like your top 3? And you don't have to mention versus fighting. You don't have to be biased. It's all right. It's fine. It's fine.
So it's hard. Like top 3 is hard, right?
Of course.
It's I've been around. I sometimes forget how long I've been around. It's 10 years next year. So there's been a lot of events. It's I had a brief thought about it fairly recently of like where would I kind of classify and rank different events. I think Evo France last year is kind of a standout one, but it's less because of the tournament itself. I thought the venue was incredible, and I thought everything ran really well, and it was incredible to have an Evo in Europe. I thought that was like an experience that I would have never got to experience unless it came to Europe, because flying to Vegas is not exactly a cheap venture.
Yeah, of course.
But it was also just a kind of the one. Nice is a beautiful place, and it was a perfect holiday. I haven't had many holidays in my life because my family was financially questionable for a long time. So having being an adult and being able to fly myself out, and then also fly with my friends. Like we had a nice hotel. We had the hotel had a hot tub and a pool and stuff. So we're like really living it up. Mimosas in the hot tub, like hell yeah. But it was the fact that sun every day. The event was cool. Got to play a bunch of people. Got to play a bunch of games. And then the crazy aspect of it was usually the events like. You might see people around Brum when versus fighting is on that you recognize from other games, but it's mostly still normal people. At Evo France, every street I walk down, I'd run to another FGC member. I went to a bakery and run to Tasty Steve. Like, what? What's going on? It was such a surreal experience. That I don't think I've ever had in an event. So that's one. TWT Finals 2025, because it's that was like the point on the bucket list. Like I do this and I can die happy tomorrow, like or even today. Like that was years of hard work, years of trying and failing, and a lot of failing, and then even more trying, and eventually getting there and being able to work with people I had a lot of admiration for, and then being watched by a lot of people that I joined the scene with, or been a part of their journey, or coached or commentated their games. I thought I was kind of insane and surreal, and it still kind of feels not real that I've done it. And the last one is an emotional pick, because I don't think I would be able to make any top 3 list without including it. And it's also maybe slightly narcissistic. It's Elf Final Fight. It's the last event Elf have ever done, and it's the event where effectively it was me organizing majority of the event. Obviously we had people that would handle the admin side and TOing, etc. But the kind of the style of the event, the posters, the advertising, the leadership on the event was done by me. I wasn't. That was the event where I wasn't the second in command. I was the kind of the head of the ship and making sure that Vern could relax for an event, even if it's the final one. They had me crying on the mic at that shit at one point.
Oh no!
I would have been fine. It's Bebop's fault. He called me a good friend, and I was like, "Damn it! Why did you have to say that?" Whereas, like, I remember sitting there for hours because I was editing the credits for like all of Elf. Like, we have every single commentator, every single admin. I like going through photos, going through old VODs, and trying to make sure I got everyone.
Every single person.
Hopefully, I didn't miss anyone. There's a possibility that maybe I have because there were so many people. But for across games, not just Tekken, everyone I could find. I put I think it's the credits theme for Tekken 7. Every time if I ever look back at those credits, I still tear up. Like, that event meant so much for me and to me. And yeah, I think it's always going to be the kind of the highlight of my FGC career, because it was, again, a culmination of a long journey. Obviously, it wasn't commentary exactly. Commentary was a part of it, but it was TOing and serving the community. And I would have thought that would be the last time I TO'd, but unfortunately, apparently, you can never get away from TOing. So now I TO in Southampton, or help TO in Southampton. But yeah, it's that. There's one honorable mention.
Of course.
It's versus fighting 2025.
Let's go.
Because that top 8, getting that top 8 again at the end of the top 8, I was emotional as hell. I was like, I mean, I did almost just like throw my guts into the toilet at one point during that final set.
Shout out Peach for the assist.
Shout out Peach for the assist. Yeah. Yeah, it's, active assist on the stage. That's crazy work, but hey, it worked out. She came in clutch. But yeah, it was super cool. Like, it might have not been a master event at the time, but I think if anything, that gave the event more intimacy, because it was kind of the UK
and I think
UK showdown
at top 8. Obviously, if Koenji got top 8, Richie got top 8.
like
a lot of
local heroes.
And then again, obviously, Richie got top 8 last year. Cloud just missed out. Like, this year's top 8 was really sick as well. And just considering, obviously, as you say, being a master event this year, and obviously a lot more of the international presence. It was just amazing to see. I guess how did you feel about the top 8 just in general, aside from like it being like obviously UK and that, just in terms of the overall level of the play and just what you saw, what you witnessed commentating the top 8
this year?
Yeah, this year.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good top eight to have, because we had a nice breakdown of international players and a nice breakdown of UK players. Obviously, Richie doing yet another miracle run into that top 8 and playing crazy. And honestly, the set against Knee was just cinema. I wish you could have taken it. The thing is, as a commentator, especially when you have an audience, you kind of a live audience, that is. You kind of know that the moment all European players are out, your level of engagement from the audience is going to go down.
Understandable.
So I was like, the longer we can keep UK and EU players in, the better this audience will be. And then we got a Korean Brian Mirror, and I was like, this might get a little tough on the audience, but I'm sure there will still be some energy. But I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was really nice doing it with Bubsy. Again, I think Bubsy is one of those commentators that puts in a lot of effort, a lot of notes. Like, he almost takes too many notes half the time. Like, he's super prepared. So, I have a lot of respect for his craft as well. But it was good. I thought for the most part the audience was really good. I can't blame him for getting a little bit miffed at the Brian Mirror. Is what it is. But I thought they had a good energy, and they replied well, and it's a VSF top 8. Like, I'm always going to be chuffed to do it. So I
appreciate that.
It was sick.
I appreciate that. So I guess we're about to wrap up very soon. But I noticed you have a nice collection of manga in the background. It's very nice indeed. I respect it.
And a bunch of badges as well.
Yes. Oh, there are definitely a lot there.
Two elites, two versus fighting elites.
I see. We appreciate the support, man. We appreciate all of the support.
DQ'd both times, by the way. I'm not allowed to play, and I still buy things. Every year about fall, whether I'm allowed to play or not, I'm always buying an entry. Just you never know. Maybe I don't get commentary and I'm gonna have to play. So like, I'm always prepared. And this year I go like, I brought how many badges I brought? I have 4 badges.
4.
And so I have I have the elite. I have the regular one because I was saying to other people, like, I want to do like the Infinity Gauntlet of VSF badges. So if anybody is selling, I'll buy your badge. It turns out Calvin found one on the floor and just gave it to me, I think. Like outside of any summer. I have the media badge.
Yes, of course,
and I have the staff badge.
Nice.
I'm just missing VIP.
VIP is the only one you missing.
I asked Justin for it. I was like, "Do you know how to get him?" And he's like, "I don't have one either." So I tried.
Oh, you tried though. We appreciate it, man. But yeah, as you say, you got what are you currently reading at the moment?
So I finished Chainsaw Man when it finished because I was reading it weekly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna reread that the moment I get the last few volumes. I think there's 4 volumes left. I think I can get 2 in UK, but I think 2 I'm waiting for. I started reading Chojin X from the writer of Tokyo Ghoul, which is also to the side. And I once I get all the Tokyo Ghouls, I want to reread for all of that. But yeah, mostly actively reading Sakamoto Days every week still until it finishes. If the rumors are true, then I'll be reading Bleach Hell Arc at the moment. That drops because I've been waiting for years. Please, I've been waiting for years. Slowly trying to collect and read Vinland Saga. I'm like halfway through the series. So I think I have like another 7 volumes to go. And slowly trying to finish off Vagabond. I had Vagabond for years, but again, I don't want to. We were talking about this earlier. I don't want to finish it because I know we're never getting another volume.
Once you finish it, that's it.
It's over. So like, I need the magic to stay and persist. So I'm just like leisurely reading 1 volume a year, or like one every a few months or something, and rereading parts and just kind of getting back up to speed of it.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'm currently reading Gachi Kagura Baki.
I need to hop on that. That looks really good.
Yeah, Kagura Baki. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool so far. Yeah, I'm currently reading those 2, and then there's another interesting one called Kuru Mizawa's Folly. It's like about a manga. It's like about a manga artist, and he's like a failed manga artist now. And there's a young kid that he gets, and he helps him. He kind of tricks him to working his new manga, basically. And then it's like the ins and outs of the industry and how it works and stuff. It's pretty interesting. It's maybe 24 volumes at the moment. This is a very interesting. It takes a bit of a turn as well, and it's like, okay, but that one's pretty interesting, but because that's like ongoing at the moment. Like that's the ongoing one that I'm reading on the side, but we can talk about manga forever, but that's not.
Yeah, I need to hop on that. I'm taking the as a recommendation.
Yeah. Actually, let me. I'll type it in the chat. I think Kuru is Folly. Oh yeah, I'll actually type it in the chat.
Thank you. Yeah, because once Sakamoto is over, I'm gonna need stuff, and I've had a void in my heart since Chainsaw Man ended. So that took like at least 2 months of trying to come to terms with the ending.
Yeah, but as I say, we're probably going to wrap up now. Again, we appreciate your time. I appreciate everything that you shared with us today. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Before we go, do you have any shout outs? Do you shout out your socials? Any other people that you want to shout out? Just it's your time to shine.
So obviously first of all, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. I will never say no to a chance to chat shit for like 2 hours. That's all I do on the mic anyway. So shout out my local scene, I guess Southampton. We do monthly events, usually first week of the month. So anyone around Southampton area or within kind of catch area within the trains, come down. It's really fun. It's chill. We don't do any money prizes. You just roll up. We try to run as many games as we can, and if you win, you get a pack of Pringles. And it's a nice chill bit. And we've had other scenes invade a few times, and it's been a good time. Obviously, Sodium Showdown with the Wasteman Weeklies, Bristol lot, they're legends. So if you want to pull up for Sodium, I think they're full up on Tekken, but if you want to pull up anyway for our games, feel free. It's an amazing event. out of that, the kind of Southwest Tekken, that's been a scene that I've been a part of as well, which is a lot of really good people that people like Calvin, people like Joey TCB, Alice Noon, etc. People that I think definitely make my days brighter in the FGC. So I'm very grateful for them and everything they bring to the table. In terms of socials, you can find me on Twitter, Punlife_. I don't say much. You're gonna see random clips of Tekken not really working, and occasionally I might say some dumb shit on Twitter. So I don't know if that's a good recommendation to follow me, but there will be more content coming up at some point. I am in the middle of trying to script a YouTube series of hopefully relatively short videos on commentary and different aspects of it. So I got a ton of stuff, whether it's commentary reel, trying to develop a style. There's a crazy bullet point in there that I just saw about dealing with unforeseen things on commentary, like like technical difficulties and dead air, but also like what if you have a commentator that suddenly says something extremely inappropriate? How do you handle that? Like stuff like that. Things that maybe people don't talk about as a guide, but I kind of want to cover a lot of things. So I'll hopefully be working at that. Coming soon. Don't ask when soon is, because these things take time and I suck at making content. So yeah, I'll do my best to try to work on that. And yeah, outside of that, I don't know, catch me on Tekken Ranked or playing Ace Combat in like 2 months.
Nice. Thank you so much. Before we let you go, next week's episode we'll be back next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Next week we have AO Richie. So we got Richie coming on next week. It'll be fresh off CEO. Obviously, CEO's happening this weekend. So shout outs to Richie. I'm looking forward to this one. Obviously, he had a great run at Versus Fighting, which led to another great run at EWC, and hopefully, we can complete the run at CEO. So here we're talking about Versus Fighting, EWC experience, CEO. Obviously, Black Country Foundry. He's obviously newly sponsored, I guess, but obviously we're going to delve into the locals that they have in Warsaw bi-weekly that have obviously, produced some great players. And, I think the competition that they have has kept them sharp, which resulted in the results that they got at Versus Fighting. So shout out to Richie for agreeing to jump on. Hopefully we can talk about his CEO win on Wednesday.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, we are hopefully. But for now, again, just before we go, I'm just going to do my last little plugs. I'll be back on Monday with a Marvel talk and stream. Obviously, I streamed on this Monday just gone for the first time. I might make it a regular Monday stream. We just had a lobby and everyone was getting games and stuff. I'm kind of enjoying the game right now. Not great, but we'll be streaming on Monday. And as I say, we've got Richie coming on next Wednesday. Shout out to him. We also have, what am I looking for? The YouTube playlist. I think I'm going to drop it in the chat shortly. It's got a YouTube Versus Fighting YouTube playlist. Let me get rid of Richie. So let's drop that in the chat. So most of the videos are up now. I know I've still got Street Fighter pools to upload, which I'm going to try and get done tomorrow. And there's a few other videos as well, but here's the Versus Fighting playlist. We also have the Versus Fighting 4 album. I'll drop that link in the chat as well. For anyone that hasn't seen all the photos. So yeah, there's quite a lot of photos to go through. So take a look. You might see yourself, you might see a friend. Go and tag them. And then the last personal plug, as always, Little Milo Books. I'm a children's author and illustrator. These are my books. Got plush toys. LittleMiloBooks.com. Head over to there. I do need to update the website, but yeah, these are the stuff that I do outside of all the stuff I do for Electronic Dojos. I just like personal stuff and that. So if you got any kids and whatever, just LittleMiloBooks.com for that. But other than that, I will leave you alone. I'm gonna play the ads video again. Shout outs all the other communities. Obviously, there's Sodium Showdown coming up. There's Drowning Pools at the end of the year. There's quite a few events coming up. So I'll let the ads video go before we go. But Punlife, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate this episode. It's been amazing. We appreciate you, the work that you're doing, just sharing your time and obviously your experience with us as well. So thank you so much, man.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me again, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
I will do. I think I'm going to jump on Tolkien now, and we see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But I'll let the ads run now, so I'll let that run, and we'll be back next week. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us today. It's been great. We'll see you later, guys. Let's let that run.
Yeah, show us healing, bro. Yeah!
Oh my god!
The crowd.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness!
Oh, baby!
Face rate is popping off right now.
Immortal Beast.